Howdy, howdy, let's get rowdy. Welcome back to the AFL Linkxzy channel, the best YouTuber of AFL. Now, today we're going to be reviewing round 7 and going over what we've learnt, and I'm joined by a special guest who is actually an AFL expert. Say howdy.
Hello, guys. Hello, Bodie. Thank you very much for having me here. Great opportunity. Love to get right into it with you.
Yeah, no problems, mate. So, let's get into the first match, Friday, April 29th. What a blowout this was. Eagles versus Richmond. Cannot believe it, mate. What are your thoughts?
Oh, like you said, absolutely shocker of a game by West Coast Eagles, especially as their club is held to such a high standard. Frankly, quite disappointed in their performance against Richmond. But in doing so, it also gave Richmond the spotlight. And to me, I think they've got what it takes to get to the finals this year.
Yeah, that is true. So what we've learnt from that match is Richmond are capable of making finals, and the Wet Toast Seagulls don't think they'll be making them. I actually think they're going to be in the bottom 4 this year. All right, moving on to Saturday, the first game, Cats versus Dockers. What a close game this was, mate. 3 points. What are your thoughts?
Listen, although the score was close, it was a cracker of a game. But I do think both teams could have performed a little bit better, as there were a lot of drop balls and unnecessary calls being made. But I'd like to make note that both teams have very good potential. But I reckon the Dockers, even though they're winning, will probably finish mid ladder.
Yeah, that is actually a pretty good opinion on this game. Personally, I tipped the Cats. I think they should have got it done. There were definitely a few missed calls in that last term. Cats, I believe they should have got the win, but there's no kid, and Dockers are definitely a strong team at the moment. Alright, next match, Adelaide versus Giants. Jesus, Giants just blew them away. Gotta say, a lot of people tipped the Crows. I personally tipped the Giants, but a lot of people thought the Crows would win. What are your thoughts?
Listen, Giants been a very strong side for a long time, but they're starting to get overrated a little bit. I think the Adelaide Crows, all they needed was a bit of encouragement to get up there and win. Now, I think this is a good standard and a good goal for all the other teams to beat Giants.
Yeah, it was a cracker of a game, gotta say. Toby Green just coming back, doing a great job already. And yeah, Giants are proving that they're still in this. Alright, next match, Melbourne versus Hawks. We all knew the outcome of this match, but didn't think it'd be this close. Melbourne obviously taking the win. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, last year Melbourne played very well, very strong side. Hawks, quite surprised by the retaliation put up against this team. I would have thought it would have been an absolute smash out the park from Melbourne, but proves that what a strong side Hawks is actually capable of becoming. And I think it's good to see them put on their boots, actually play a bit of footy.
Yeah, I'm loving to see the new kids coming from the club. You can tell they're going to be a rising team after their rebuild. Melbourne, though, taking the win, and they've just got some stunning players right now. All right, moving on to the next game. The Saints versus Port Adelaide. What a shocker this was. A 1 point game. Both teams terribly inaccurate. 18 behinds, 13 behinds. Port taking it by 1 point under the Saints. I've got to say, I tipped the Saints, man. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I did tip the Saints as well, and I thought this was an absolute shocker of a game. Both teams played exponentially horrible, and it's not something they should be proud about. Even though Port Adelaide took home the victory, I think they really need to reflect on how they played this game and get back in it next game and really improve.
Yep, they'll be going over that one in the training rooms. Next up, Carlton versus North Melbourne. I tipped the Blues. I think everyone tipped the Blues. No one really thought North would win this. But North, they've been coming bottom of the ladder team for how many years now? You know, they're getting all these draft picks. At some point, you've got to question the management, not the players. I mean, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, like you said, it's not always about the players. Sometimes management is a bit shaky, but very unexpected scoreboard here. Carlton coming up, winning by 50. Very surprised, very shocked. Me personally tipped North, and I was very happy to see that, even though I didn't tip them, see them make moves finally, as it's just about time that they get recognised as the team for who they are.
Yep, that is true. The Blues are on the come up and they are back. Alright, moving on to the Sunday games. First game of Sunday, we have the Pies versus Gold Coast. Now, I tipped Collingwood, they won, and what a ripper game this was, mate. A great contest the whole time. Both teams going at it, scoring one, scoring in the next. Oh my. And one Collingwood player, Jack Ginnivan, kicked a goal of the year contender in this match. So, what are your thoughts on this match? I reckon it was beautiful.
Oh, as you expected from Collingwood, played absolutely cracker as they always do. And I think it's really good to see how the Gold Coast Suns put up quite a bit of retaliation here. And I think Collingwood, great, strong side, but I don't think it's going to be enough just kicking goals to get it to the finals this year. Even though they're doing fair enough, I don't think they're going to take home the trophy, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, a lot of people are thinking that right now. They're not at the finals yet, but if they can improve in this season, then they're definitely contenders. Alright, next match, we have the Doggies versus the Dons. Now, I tipped the Doggies. You always thought they would win. The two teams they versed last year in the first final match. Essendon got blown out of the park by the Dogs, gotta say. But this game, not so much. Dogs, they took it by a fair amount, but it was a great win overall. What are your thoughts?
No, the old saying, doggies bark. Great example of this, barking home with a 32 victory. But I do think this is an absolutely fantastic matchup, as both of these teams are absolutely brilliant sides. Show really good how their players are. And I think I'd really like to see both of these teams make finals. Have a bit of a rematch, you know what I mean, Bodie? Absolute
Yeah.
stunner of a game. Perfect performance from both teams.
Yeah, if Essendon want to make finals, they definitely got to step up their game. So too the Doggies. Alright, next, the last game of the round. Sydney Swans versus Brisbane. Now, I tipped Brisbane. They won. A lot of people surprisingly tipped the Swans, But I could tell the Swans, they're not at that level yet. They're not ready for the big bad Lions yet. So what are your thoughts?
Oh, Swans, they just don't have that legacy like they used to 10 years ago. I think that Swans do need a bit of improving on, but I think we could say that for every team right now, as they're still got some newbies on the ground, still trying to find their feet. So I think it's actually great to see some of the new teams adapt and improvise, and we're seeing them play the better teams.
That is true. And that is the end. Well, I'm just going to go over one thing we've learnt from each match, and that'll be the end. Alright, the Friday match. West Coast versus Richmond. I've learned that Richmond are a real finals contender, and West Coast are not in the comp. What have you learned from that match?
I've learned that Richmond, even though they've come home with a massive victory, I feel like it's going to take them by surprise one day and get absolutely flogged, get a bit of an attitude adjustment, which is what all teams need, even though they're playing brilliantly this year. Eagles, not too impressed, quite surprised at this defeat, but what can you do?
Alright, that is true. Next, Cats versus Dockers. I've learnt Cats, they definitely need a bit more work if they're to make finals. Dockers, they are a real flag contender. What about you?
Oh, I reckon both teams are going to end up strong high and mid ladder. I don't think either teams has what it takes to become finals contenders this year, as they both played pretty ordinary, even though it was a close match. Both teams' skill set about the same.
Right, next, Crows versus Giants. I've learnt Giants are not out of the season yet. They're putting up a fight. Crows, just disappointing. What about you?
Giants continuing on the legacy that everyone loves to hear. You know, when people think of AFL, they think of Essendon or Giants, and I think Crows got a lot of learning to do, you know, especially with some of the newbies on the team. I think it'd do them some good just to get a bit of an attitude adjustment and a flogging by Giants to get them through.
That is true. Next, I've learnt Melbourne. They are 7-0, have not dropped a game left. They are a really strong team, and they are definitely gonna make it to the grand final this year. Now, Hawthorn, I've learnt they definitely can put up a fight, and they are a strong team, but they just need a little bit more work to get there. What about you?
You know, both teams cracking, absolutely brilliant. Hawks with their huge legacy. But I think what we really have to say here, even though that Melbourne's winning with that 7-0, it will get them through to the finals. But we need to see an absolutely brilliant matchup to actually get the players entertained this year, you know?
That is true. Alright, next we have the Saints versus the Power. Now, Saints, disappointing performance from both parts actually. So many behinds. I've learnt, you know, Saints, they could make the finals, but that match just really didn't reflect on their team. Port, they're showing that they're still going to try and fight for their club, but, you know, this is not how you should do it. What about you?
Yeah, St Kilda always been a pretty renowned team, but I don't think they have what it takes this year to make it to the finals. Poor Adelaide really putting in the effort and showing the drive and power to try and take the top spot, but I don't think it's going to be enough this year. I think that does have something to do with the coaching this year. Coaches a bit iffy this year, you know.
Yep, that's true. Alright, next, the Blues versus North Melbourne. I don't think we really have much to say about this one. You know, everyone really predicted this. Just North,
Yeah,
disappointing side. Carlton, they're back.
yeah, love to see it.
Next match, Collingwood versus Suns. I've learnt Suns, they can put up a fight, but they're not making the finals. Collingwood, I've learned
Yeah,
they're gonna try it with all their might to make the finals, but I'm not sure if they can do it. What about you?
yeah, Collingwood continuing the legacy that they've created. As you know, Gold Coast Suns did put up quite a matchup. In the end, it just wasn't enough to win.
True. Alright, next, Doggies versus Essendon. You know, everyone predicted this. Dogs would win, but what I've learnt from this match is Dogs, they're gonna put up a real fight to make it to the finals. Essendon, they've only won one out of their seven, so Essendon not looking like finals contenders. Dogs, maybe. What about you?
Oh, don't really have much to say here, like you said. You know, 1-7. I would say doggies bark, doggies bark. I think that's gonna get them through.
Always goes back to that old saying. Alright, now the final match of the round. One thing I've learned, Lions, they're number two on the ladder, number two or three on the ladder right now. They are making finals. They are a strong team, and I'm looking forward to them. Swans, still a strong team, but not sure if they can overpower some of the others. What about you?
You know, Swans haven't been good, or not that they haven't been good this year. They just haven't been at that standard, that high greatness for about 10 odd years now. And I think Lions really putting in the work to try and get to that top spot this year as they truly deserve it.
That is true. Alright, and that concludes the video. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll probably do more videos like this reviewing all the rounds. Let me know if you'd like to see more of this, and I'll catch you later.